Back with my mans right here. Back with my mans right here. Back with my mans right here. Yeah, let's get it. 1, 2, 3. Hey, it's BT with Tales from a Gemini, and today we're gonna do something. I don't say different, but it's like I got my man Kenny Bigbee. And what we're going to do is, we're going to do a Under the Tales from a Gemini banner, I guess. I don't say banner, but a new section that we're going to call BT and Killer B Killer Convos. And what it is from what we've talked about, which is really good because you guys have listened and you've asked questions. So we're going to go directly to the people who have asked questions, which I think is great because I think what we do is, and I don't care if it sounds self-serving, I don't give a shit, is honestly, we entertaining, but also we help. And I know it sounds self-serving, but it is the truth. From everything you told me, man, I mean, every time I swim, I think of you, like when I'm like, thinking about I'm gonna drown. I think about you, like, man, shit, if Kenny can do it. I mean, you know what I mean? and just little shit like that. So I figure from talking to you, it's helped me. And the great thing about it is you people listened and I love that you've commented back. And now we're going to answer your questions, and I'm going to let Kenny have it. I'm just going to be a facilitator because this man has all the knowledge. Hey, I'm just John Stockton. I do that pick and roll and let you do your thing because I ain't got no talent on the basketball court. So
step on curve. No look back.
I ain't got that shit. I told you I'm John Stockton. I'm basic. I go like this, and I set a pick. And I go, I can't do nothing else, man.
Straight back posture.
Well, that's all I do like this. Well, I used to wrestle, so I'll foul you. I'll foul but I'll foul you, but I'll give you the ball. Like I never argue because I know you're right. Like if you got to get past me, I literally would grab you like it and I'll stretch it and you go, hey man, I go, sure ball.
Clip his leg, give him the ball, like come through that pain one more time. Okay?
Yeah, I do.
My homeboy was telling a story about a dude who was in prison. This dude was hooping out. He jumped up. He went to dunk. He was about to dunk. Working the boys. Man, prison dude did like that. Yeah. Clipped his leg. Said, bow. He's don't come here through that shit, homie. We don't do that pretty shit up in here, cuz. Anyway, go ahead, bro. Yeah.
So see, we help you. If you go to prison, don't dunk.
Don't dunk, bro. Don't do pretty shit. Yeah. Got man up. But yeah, you're right.
Don't do pretty shit.
Don't do pretty shit in prison. You'll pay for it, bro, for real, in more ways than one. But that being said, edutainment, entertainment, and education.
Edutainment. There you go. And what we're doing is like last time we talked about fear, okay, and which is great. And it was my fault that I didn't get into the levels of fear or the different types of fear. We talked about fear. A generalization of fear, but there's so many types of fear, and I take that on myself that I didn't get into the specifics of fear. But we're going to answer a question from one of the followers, CJ Phillips 88.
Shout out
to CJ Phillips, CJ Phelps. I'm sorry, CJ Phelps 88, who says he's tried everything else to get rid of it, but he just can't. On fear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how is that? Like, and that is a great question because you listen to you, and it's true. You listen to you like, okay, man, Kenny says this, and you try, but you still have that fear. So how does he get it? Like, he said he's tried everything, he can't get rid of it. What would you tell him?
CJ Phelps 88, that is a great question. The truth is you never get rid of fear. So what we talked about is having courage, okay, versus crazy. Right? Crazy is when you are just fearless. You ain't afraid. If you're not afraid, you're gonna run headlong into danger. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But when you have courage, that's the present. There's no courage if you don't have the presence of fear. You just crazy. Something wrong with you. Why you ain't scared, bro? You must not. So there's fighters, right? They go out, they're fearless. You know why? You ain't never been touched and hurt. You ain't never been knocked out. When you get hurt, you got a healthy, I could get hurt. Now you're aware of what can happen. The brain is a prediction machine. So it's like, oh, that could happen again. So now your brain is trying to keep you safe from that bad thing happening. So fear, it's a prediction machine. This could potentially happen in the future, what happened in the past. So it's predicting that could happen, and it's trying to help you to avoid that. So that's one of the ways fear can happen. Okay. So a lot of people are fearless, say young, dumb, full of cum, because they haven't been exposed to the potentialities that could happen.
Like kids.
There you go.
I mean, that's why kids are fearless, and I mean, until they have that first, like you see a kid on the bike, you see on Instagram, you got the little bike, they're going down the hill, and oh, here we go. And after that, bam. And then, but then again, though, they have short memories. So they get, or maybe they're concussed. We don't know. They get up, they do it again. Yeah. But after a while, then you get older. And like me, I'm afraid to even jump off the curb that I might pop this knee. You know what I mean? So is that why kids are so-called fearless?
Yeah, kids at an early age, so you have personality archetypes. Now, at a younger age, your brain is set up to be more optimistic.
Yes.
So it's literally set up that way so that you could survive hardships coming up as a young age. Because we weren't always apex predators, which we talked about, and we had to survive a lot of rough times coming up. So you're designed to be optimistic to be able to survive. And then that kind of starts to wane a bit, so you can become a realist. Because now you're an adult, you got to deal with reality. You can't just be, I don't like just pure optimism. That's bullshit, bro. Everything's fine. Everything ain't fine, motherfucker. we gotta plan for the worst and hope for the best. So there's still optimism there, but you also got to plan for the worst. So that being said, I'd like to start off, and last time we were talking about peak performance under pressure, and just dealing with a fear was just a segment of that.
Right.
So now we're gonna respond to CJ. So CJ got a brother's first name, and then he got Phelps. He got the Caucasian last name. His tag, CJ Phelps, bro. You know, he mulatto and shit. You feel me, CJ?
He can get a job anywhere he wants.
You feel me? He just I'm Phelps. I'm Phelps today. No, I'm CJ. I'm in the hood. You feel me? Right. So
you know, Michael, that's my brother. Got all the mellows.
Come on, right. So I like to start off with a story because we're gonna break down why you need to have courage and not crazy. Again, what do we mean by that? Courage means that there still is the presence of fear, but you execute in spite of the fear. Crazy just means you fearless. You probably don't know no better. So you either just, it hasn't happened yet, or you just ain't that bright. You feel me? Right?
Okay.
So we're going to talk about courage.
Okay.
Having the ability to execute in the presence of fear. So we're going to start off with a story. It's an Indian folklore. You'll see this all throughout any type of society throughout history. Yeah. But one of these ancient Indian folklore stories, there's a wise man telling a young man, and I'll just paraphrase it. And the young man says, there's two wolves. And when he tells a story, you got to talk in this ominous voice. There's two wolves. And they give each other crazy nicknames. Pix Dandelions. Let me tell you a story. And why my name Pix Dandelions? I don't know. I just made it up. I saw you doing it yesterday. So he's like, there's two wolves. He's like, two wolves? He's like, yes. There is a wolf that is strong and powerful and courageous. And then there's a wolf that is dark and ominous and depressed and fearful. And he's like, and they are battling at all times. Wake up, old man. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I fell asleep. It wasn't just a long draw. He goes, so which wolf wins, old man? He said, the one you feed. So, well, that's a brilliant story, but why is that in folklore? So, in Looney Tunes, you remember, there was a little angel and a little devil.
Yes. It's
the same story.
Okay.
It's courage, fear, good, bad. So you have great philosophers, and they said good and evil runs down the heart of men. So does courage and fear.
Yes.
They're both there at any time.
Yes.
They're not separate. Simultaneously, they're both there. So the one you feed is the one that wins the fight. So what does that mean neurologically? We got to talk about the why behind the what, the science behind it. So we're not just talking about some weird ass mysticisms, because brothers don't get into that shit.
Exactly.
You feel me?
I'm one of them brothers.
Right? Unless we talking about voodoo or some shit, right? So we're going to get away from the voodoo. So what happens is in your brain, once you make any type of learned behavior, that's called a neural association, right? So I see you, every time I see you, I'm upset. I see you again, I'm upset. I see you a fourth time, I'm upset. Next time, I'm not even upset. I see you, guess what happens in my brain?
What?
I get mad. Because every time I leave from work, I had a bad day. I hate this job, and we cross paths every day. And I have a bad day, and I see you. That happens every day for a year. Mm-hmm. Then one day, we in the store, like how we run into each other. I see you, and all of a sudden, I'm shitty. You didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Because my brain has made an association between being in a bad mood and seeing you.
Okay.
So we all know this to be true. Like you had your first love, and back in the day, it was a mixtape, a cassette, an 8-track, a CD, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. iTunes, it depends on what era you was from. So there was some love music going on, you made love, and then you hear that song. Here come that person comes to mind.
Yes.
Or if you run into that person, the song comes. Or your grandma and the children in the kitchen making apple pie. And then you smell apple pie, you think of grandma. You see grandma, you remember the apple pie. In the hood, you see grandma, you smell some chitlins.
Or sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato
There you
pie.
go. You
Yes.
feel me? We just getting hood in here. So that's a neuroassociation, but that's not just in thought and in theory. Your brain has a physiological change. What's that mean? So you have two neurons and the neurosynapses, they literally connect physiologically. So that would be neurophysiologically. So the neurons literally make a physical connection when you associate something.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
So every time I see you, I got coffee. And then one day I see you and I'm, damn, I want some coffee, but I'm not conscious of it. You feel me?
Yes.
So now that's it literally, there was a physical link that was made. That is a physiological neural association, neurophysiological. Now that being said, so each time, now why is it when you do an activity, well, I made the connection, why don't I have it mastered? You follow me? So I throw this 1-2 punch, why isn't it perfect right away? Because each time that you do that activity, myelin gets wrapped around the sheath of that. What is myelin? Myelin is like the gray matter of the brain. What it does is there's a neurosynapsis. So there's an electronic pulse that shoots, right? And when that impulse is sent down, the myelin is kind of like the sheath that makes sure that signal is regulated.
Okay.
So it makes it more efficient. To be specific, it makes it 100 times more efficient. So imagine a sheath on an electrical cord that's keeping that energy from dissipating. It's protecting it.
Right.
It's doing all that.
Yes.
And that's what the myelin's doing. It also makes the signal, when we say efficient, it also makes it stronger and faster. So it's like high-speed internet. It's like fiber wire. It's like, you follow me?
Yes.
So you made the physical connection, and now the myelin wraps around it. And the sheet doesn't go all the way, it's in segments. And that allows some of that signal to actually jump out and make jumps, which makes it more efficient, makes it stronger. Okay. So for that signal to take place in response to a stimulus, so say in the beginning, somebody throws a jab, you don't move. You just like this. I know I ain't supposed to do that in studio, but you like, yeah. You feel me?
Talk to the sound dude.
Yeah, sound dude ready.
You all right, sound dude?
He's like, I'm gonna show you a jab in a second.
You all right, sound dude? You all right, sound dude?
Sound dude like, I'm about to put these hands on you, bro. You feel me? So you don't even move. Wham! I saw a dude, my homie got hit. I said, bro, he said, I want to fight the coach. I said, you don't want to fight the coach. First day. He said, man, where they at? I said, bro, you don't want to fight the coach. Homie, yeah. He did like Looney Tunes. He said, wham! Then he blinked like that. He didn't even realize it happened. He said, wham! I said, what happened, cuz? He didn't even react. Why? The signal of the stimulus to the response, he knows when he jabs, I need to block or I need to move, but the signal wasn't strong enough. So what happens is that signal has to come down and it has to hit, say there's an A and B signal. We're just generalizing the process. And this is all for good reason. When that goes down there, the signal has an A and B side, and they have to hit both simultaneously, and they also have to hit strong enough. So imagine you have one of those revolving doors and you walk up to it and you're a 2-year-old. You pushing, okay, you pushing with one hand. Okay, let me get 2 hands on it. But you just don't have the strength to push the revolving door to get to the other side, to get through to what you want. So now we're gonna make both hands hit at the same time. We're gonna get a running start and build some momentum and then hit it with both hands and now I can pass through. So the myelin regulates the simultaneous strike of the signal, and it regulates the power and strength and the efficiency of the signal at 100 times. So each time you do the activity after that, it puts more myelinization around it.
So in layman's terms?
In layman's terms, that signal gets stronger, more regulated, and faster. That's why repetition is the mother of skill. That's the reason why behind the what. So when you do that jab the first time and I slip it, okay, I learned how to do that. But now if I do it at full speed, whack, I can't do it yet because the signal's not strong enough to the stimulus. I have to do it over and over and over. And the myelin gets stronger and stronger. It regulates that signal, makes it stronger, and synchronizes it and syncopates it. That's where when there's a fighter, you throw it, they're moving so, like Mayweather. I saw Mayweather throw a punch. He looked over. The dude just started moving his shoulder. He ain't threw the punch. Mayweather's already ducking. Because that signal is so strong through the regulation of the mind. People like Muhammad Ali with Parkinson's, they can't move. All of a sudden you say, ding, ding, ding. All of a sudden this dude's moving because that signal is so strong in the mind that he can still do that even though the mind's broken down.
Because he's done it. I mean, all those boxers, professional, they've done it their whole lives. So their signal's got to be. And more stronger than any of. Well, you fight, so I mean, honestly, so somebody like me, I'd get fucking touched. But if you, like you said, get stronger, and they've done it their whole lives, then boom.
And that's why the boxer can't just, okay, he's a great athlete, okay? And then he goes to wrestle, he can't wrestle. He doesn't have the stimulus, he doesn't have the neural associations, and then it's not strong enough to do it in real time.
Now it's making sense as that way. And so that's with everything then, right? I mean, that's why, like, if I ride my motorcycle every day, which I do, then I feel that I'm better at certain things when they happen. Then I've been on the bike long enough and I know my bike that I know, like, you know, like if a car's coming or that, boom, I'm 1-on-1 with the bike.
Yeah, but that took time. So you could do as soon as you do that jab and slip it the first time, you have the neurophysiological connection, now but it's not strong enough.
Yeah, but now it's making sense now.
So now you got the stimulus and then the signals, it's saying we need to move like how, and then the signal's not strong enough. So imagine, let's put it in layman's terms. Imagine somebody's coming at you with a gun. I'm like this, hey, BT. You're like, what? Like, it's a dude with a gun. I think we should run. It's a dude with a gun. We should move. You're like, what? But I had a homeboy literally one day, and this probably has happened to everybody, okay? Well, a lot of people. My homeboy just ran by me and slapped me on the shoulder, was like, run, and ran by me. Nigga, I just started running. One time we was actually in Mexico. We weren't supposed to be there. And my homeboy slapped me on the shoulder and was like, run! I started running. I grabbed him. I said, hey, bro, what we running for? Well, our homie was in a fight. And he was slapping me like, come on, bro. But I just started running because the signal was so strong. And there's other reasons, mirror neurons, all this other stuff we can get into. But he slapped me. There was a very strong signal. And I'm like, we running. Not hell, bro. Why we running? You follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
But if he came by and was like, hey, bro, I think we should run over there. I'd be like, well, why?
But if I go, hey, we got to run.
Yeah.
Or just bam.
If you run, bro, run. You're just going, and I start moving. It's a strong ass signal. So you don't see anybody in combat in the movies, right? So, and I tell that story, right? I came home from the military, and in the military, this is how you talk. You say, give me the fucking coffee. Pass me the fucking ketchup. It's a reason for that. Well, then I came home to see my family. I sat down at the dinner table. My mama's sitting over there, my daddy over here. And I looked at my mom and said, give me the fucking ketchup. I said, oh, shit. Excuse me? Hey, ma, it don't matter. I'm a Navy SEAL. I'm about to whoop my ass. Now, why do they talk like that? Because when you're on the battlefield and there's stress and there's fear, I need a very strong signal to take action in spite of the fear.
Now it's making sense now. I was wondering where you were going. I mean, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I was wondering where you were going with this. I was like, okay, Kenny.
Yeah.
But CJ Phelps wants to know,
you see
what the fuck?
Get to the point. So I'm explaining the why behind the what. So there's a reason. So that's why you have to talk in the Austrian or Czechoslovakian, whatever the accent is. Says, get to the chopper. Yeah. You have to say it like that because that's a strong ass signal. Yeah. As soon as I say that, you have a neuroassociation of some big ass, swole ass motherfucker. Like, I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't move. Now, why am I saying all that? Here's what happens. So when you have a fear response, we're gonna go further into the brain, but I'm gonna keep it simple at this segment so we get to this point. When you have a fear response, there's a neural connection. So you see a chihuahua, you get bit when you're 3, and now you look like Arnold, and then the chihuahua walks up. Well, you have a link to that little bitty thing that looks like that.
Yes.
That motherfucker's gonna kill me.
Yes.
Even though the relationship doesn't change. That dog should be scared of you.
It's like an elephant. When an elephant's small, and when they had circuses, and they would hold it down with the stake in the ground, the elephant couldn't move. When the elephant got bigger, they did the same thing. Now, the elephant was bigger; it could easily rip it out of the ground. But because they were small, that mental. He just knew when they put the stake in, like, I can't move, but he could when he was a grown ass elephant. But that mental when he was there, so that's the same thing, right?
So you're absolutely right, brother. That neural connection of that stake holds me down. I can't move. So you made a neural association, a physiological link between 2 neurons, movement and the stake. I can't move with this neuron, movement, and the stake. I can't move when that stake's in the ground, and I'm tied to it.
Yes.
Now and then over the years, now there's myelin, bang, 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 and it's stronger. The signal's getting, so when you have a fear response and then you keep adhering to it, you keep feeding that wolf.
Oh, now it's making sense.
So when you keep having a fearful response, so you had a neural connection between, I jump off this diving board, I'm gonna hurt myself. So you don't jump. So each time you get up there and you don't jump, guess what happens?
The fear gets stronger.
That's what it means, the parable by the wolf that you feed.
Look at this. Are you learning, sound guy? Are you learning? Are you learning too?
I was actually having a conversation just like this
You lying. But man,
Sound man on another level,
I'm just messing
bro.
with you, man.
He on another level.
But you're right? You get it, right? I think you just called me old, man. I don't like that, but that's cool, man. I think you just called me old. That's how I'm.
You know how it goes up in here. Ain't nothing, bro. You don't get a break up in here.
He called me old, but anyway,
Hey.
but I get it now.
You old, but you're not decrepit.
You know what? I'm both of y'all.
Hey,
but
man.
anyway, but
I'm old. Look, go ahead.
So anyway, if you feed that fear, it gets stronger. So how do you break that link?
So
then?
that is why he said the wolf that you feed, because you don't
feed it.
You don't break the link.
You don't break the link.
So now we have to go into something called neuroplasticity.
Okay.
Okay. Last time I said the word decrepit and I said another word and somebody literally looked the word up. You remember Hawaii, my man Hawaii?
Yeah.
Long time ago,
Yeah.
I was teaching jiu-jitsu class and I said, you all perform magnanimously. Everybody was like, what? That's not a word. I said, no, that's a word. They said, that is not a word. I said, that is a word. And they say, man, you Black Einstein. Black people don't use them words. I said, no, that's a word. I said, go look it up. We was in the Matrix, man. Who's your Lawrence Fishburne? In the 8th Matrix, Lawrence Fishburne, another black man said, you are magnanimous. And we was in the movies together. And he looked at me. I said, I told you it's a word, cuz. Right? So, neuroplasticity, hell does that mean? It's basically flexibility of the brain. We used to think at a certain age that neuroplasticity stopped. That's the ability for the brain. It literally reconfigures. Not just in theory, it physiologically connects to different neurons.
So you're trying to say that we used to think as we got older, it stopped. We stopped open, keeping our minds open, and we just felt like we stopped growing. Then and it's like you said, just shut off.
That it couldn't reform, that it couldn't reshape.
And for thoughts and everything, thoughts and fears and everything, right?
Well, so here's what it is. Thoughts and fears and all that are neural connections. And they're also neurohormones, right? But in the brain, this neuron said, that chihuahua I'm afraid of it. It'll hurt me. Now, so you say, how do you break the link?
Yes.
You do not break the link. That link doesn't go away. You got to make another link that says, the chihuahua ain't shit. I'm stronger than a chihuahua. I'm the big dog. You got to make another link. And then you got to make that link stronger. This link is always going to be there.
So how do you make another link? In that scenario, how do you make another link?
So we'll talk about that. And that's a good question. So to keep this simple for the listeners, we'll do this part first and go back to that's actually a brilliant question. So what happens is you have a link that you have a physiological connection. Okay. Now I'm going to use the neuroplasticity. I'm going to reconfigure my mind. I'm going to make another link. Now, as soon as I say, how do you do that? Maybe I just get in the room with the chihuahua. Remember we talked about incrementalization last time?
Yes.
We talked about the horses jump over a little bump,
yes,
a bigger bump.
Yes.
So you just, and then we say, then it falls over the big bump, over the big hurdle, right? Mm-hmm. And then it goes back to the little hurdle. So what you do is do the smallest level that you're capable of doing that you can tolerate. Well, that's making a neural connection. So maybe I just look at pictures of the chihuahua. Maybe I just imagine a chihuahua. Then after I imagine it, now I look at pictures of it. Now I go and a chihuahua, you Arnold Schwarzenegger, this chihuahua's in a little bitty cage, you behind a glass wall like prison. And you look at it. And then next, they got it on a leash and they come on the other side of the glass. You incrementalize your exposure, and what that's doing is creating a new circuit.
Okay.
And then what you're doing is running myelin through the circuit.
So you're basically building up and making it stronger.
Now, so when you first do it, guess what? The fear is still stronger than the new circuit.
Like, oh shit, there's a chihuahua. Oh fuck.
And that's always gonna be there. That's why both wolves are always there. That's what he said. Both wolves are always there. He said, but which one wins the fight? The one you feed, the one you make stronger.
So in that case, now I'm not getting off the case, CJ Phelps. But in that case, say you're gonna feed it. Okay, next you say you just bring a chihuahua in. Okay, you go, there's chihuahua. Okay, but then where you incorporate breathing into that? Because I think doesn't breathing help? I mean,
it does.
Because to me, it would okay, but.
Yep.
And that's what does. I mean, to me now with fear fearful, I really found that the breathing is to me 90 to 95%. I mean, there's been times, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. One that steps that comes to mind, and I think I talked about it last time.
Yeah.
Was riding on the motorcycle at night, and a deer went out in front of me, and I didn't have time to go shit. It was, but I kept everything loose, and I don't know how because although the truck shielded me, and it was at night, he just walked right up, and I was like, and it was a brick, and it's like everything slowed down. Everything slowed down, and I was enough to go, but it happened like that. But it felt like I didn't have time to go shit. I was like, and I passed it, and it was like, okay, fuck.
There's several reasons for that.
Okay.
I'll just touch basis.
Right.
Be the nerdy black man. Right? Okay. When you get under pressure, the reason why and then right after that, you might be exhausted after just a nanosecond of an exposure, right? And and there's relief, and then there's like, whoo, shit, right? What happened is the exhaustion is because say your eye sees at 30 frames per second. And that's why the film is at 30 frames per second. But when you get in a situation under duress like that, say it triples at output. So now it's at 90 frames per second. Well, that's how you do slow motion. You increase the frame rate in that same time frame. So over 1 second, instead of 30, we do 90 frames. So now I can put it in slow. You see more. So what happened is your brain goes, oh shit, there's a deer. It went from 30 frames per second to 90, which requires 3 times the energy. So now your brain is calibrating at 90 frames per second. And then and everything's calibrating at a 3 times wattage. As soon as you get done with it, you're like, because you use 3 times the fuel in the same amount of time. So it slowed it down, and then the breathing let you go from, now this is where we go into it. You were in a sympathetic state, meaning stress state.
Okay.
Which is fear.
Okay.
And now you're going to have fear.
Right.
That signal. Now, why do you have fear? The brain is a predictability machine. It's trying to move you away from pain and move you towards pleasure. It's trying to move you away from injury and move you towards prosperity.
Oh, I like that.
You follow me?
Yeah.
It's trying to take you away from the liabilities and move you towards assets. That's all it's trying to do.
So the brain is our friend then, baby. Our brain is trying to help us.
But it's a tool. See, you don't want the brain to run you. You want to run the brain.
And you have to sharpen that tool, right? And keep that tool exercising.
You got to learn how to use the tool, or the tool can be used against you. So when I used to sit at the dinner table, I said, Dad, bad guys kill with knives. He said, the knife ain't bad. He said, it can be used to cut food. It could be used to build stuff, to cut out, to carve, to build tools. He said, or it can be used to kill. It depends on the user.
Okay.
So the brain is the same way.
Right.
If you don't use the tool can be used against you.
How can it be used against you? I mean, and trust me, I think I know, but how can it be used against you? Because, like I said, everybody, and I think it's the truth, is that if you let the brain do what it does, right, and you feed it good stuff, the brain wants to help you. It wants for you to have the best. It wants what's best for you. Now, how can it use against you? Is it because of past experiences and they come back and you don't know how to channel that into the good?
Well, actually, we'll break off into that. So now, how can the brain as a tool? It's like a vehicle. If you don't grab the steering wheel and you're hitting the gas and it hits a bump, it'll veer off and go in the wrong direction. It'll hit whatever the hell you want. So you said that you get that exposure to whatever that fearful thing is. It's a little bitty chihuahua that should not scare you, right?
But it still does.
Each time you give in to the fear, so fight or flight. Each time you flee. Now the brain goes, I fleed and I survived. So guess what? Signal gets stronger, fleeing and surviving. So we talked about when you move away from fears, the fears get bigger. When you move towards fears, the fears get smaller. Well, that don't make sense because when you walk up on a building, the building gets bigger. That's geographically. But in the mind and the science behind the mind, each time that I have a fear response, the fear response is there. It's like, hey, this could happen because it happened last time. I'm a predictability machine. I don't want that to happen. Brain's trying to help you. Now you flee in a situation where you could prevail. So you flee. Now the myelin makes the signal stronger.
Okay.
And now, every time I see that dog, I want to flee, and it's stronger and stronger and stronger. That's why when you run from fears, we're talking about the science. That's why when you run away from the fear gets bigger because you strengthen the circuit that makes the fearful thing that much, the impulse of the fear, that much stronger. When you approach the fear, even in the smallest way, now you develop the other circuit. And that wolf, when you feed that wolf, when you feed the courage instead of the fear, that one starts to get stronger. So now the tool is saying, hey, bro, I have fear of this, but in the face of fear, I can also have a stronger courage. So you never get rid of the fear circuit.
Right.
That's why at the end of that, you said, but will you still have fear though? I said, you will still want to shit yourself. You will still be scared.
But okay, now, I think this is a good question. And sometimes it is in your best interest to flee. I think so. I mean, if you're like, say you're walking down the street and there's 5 dudes and they look like they mean business and they got weapons in their hands, and you go, you know what? It might be a good time to me to run. Instead of like, I watch a Bruce Lee movie. I know what to do. Wouldn't it be best to flee in that situation? Because sometimes isn't it best to like fight or flight? Like, I think it's best to flee in this situation. But if it's one-on-one and dudes talking shit, you go, well, you know what? Fuck it, let's go. I mean.
So I'm going to tell you an interesting story.
Okay.
Orcas, the killer whales. We had this conversation.
Yes.
You as nerdy as me, dog.
I don't like the way you said it, but go ahead.
You feel me? I know. 2 black nerds, bro. You got great whites. They the Jaws, bro. Jaws. All right.
No, it's
Not yet.
Hey man, to this day, I think anybody who grew up anything before 1980, and you instinctively when you hear in the water here, you always do.
You want to jump out that water, bro?
Always, I still jump out that water.
How about we just don't get in the water in the first place, bro? I'm gonna just swim. Check it out. So you got these most fearful beasts, the great white. It's like the king of the jungle, right?
No, the orcas are.
And here come the orca.
Yeah.
What did the great whites do?
They run.
They lead there. They lead there.
When they hear their sonar and they know one is within the, they say maybe an hour away, they get the fuck up.
They clear out.
They do. They leave because they know what's up.
Now you know what? That's a justified fear. We're talking about unjustified fears.
Okay.
Relevance is important. Bro, there's 7 dudes with pistols down that alley. I'm gonna be courageous. No, that's being fearless. That's being stupid. So now, here's the key there to answer your question in a nutshell. Because I want to make sure we get to homeboy stuff.
Yes, definitely.
CJ Phelps.
We got you, CJ.
Courage is when you take on necessary fears for progress, survivability.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Stupidity, right, is when you take on unnecessary challenges that are a detriment to you. Why are you doing that? It's not going to help you progress. It's not going to help to progress humanity. It's not going to preserve humanity, like you saving somebody's life. Why are you approaching that?
So it's a calculated courage, basically, so to speak, right?
Exactly. So there's a story in The Lion King. You know, Savannah with the little. So the son wanted to be like his dad. You feel me? So I went and took my mom down right at the Marat Temple. I want to see this. Because I would have went to that shit by myself. I'm a gangster. No, I'm just playing. I would have went. I drink mudslides and shit. You just bag me out of this. I'm a softie, dog. So my mom said, I want to go. So I take her. And there's this one line. The son went into the dark. He went to the dark side, homie. You feel me?
Okay, yeah.
All by himself.
Yeah.
Then his dad had to go save him from the bad uncle. He had to lay all kind of hands on him. We ain't talking about church. You feel me?
Yeah.
So then he says, son, why the hell did you do that? He said, I want to be brave like you. You're not scared of anything. He said, bro, I'm scared of everything. He said, I'm scared of a whole lot. I'm scared of losing you. He said, but then why do you run into the headlong in the battle? He said, I do it when it's necessary.
Oh.
When I need to. To do what? To progress humanity. To protect humanity. For progression and for protection, right? But he said, but I don't go looking for problems. Now you want to challenge yourself. That don't mean don't sit in your house and don't challenge yourself, right?
Right.
Okay. If it can help progress, if it can help protect, go for it. But if it's unnecessary, evade it. Why go down the alley? Don't go down the alley, bro. There's gangsters down there with knives and guns. Don't go. That's unnecessary.
Right.
That's not courage.
Right.
That's stupidity. What is that going to help you progress to? Now, if your girl down there and your wife are down there, you should run anyway. No, I'm just playing. Nah, don't do that. Kevin Hart told a joke like that, talking about comedians.
I know.
You
I know a joke.
What was that when he said his girls getting whooped by a whole bunch of, what was that? How'd it go?
What did you say to him? Or whatever, something like that. He
said they was getting whooped. He said, run. Then he went and got the car. She got whooped. He pulled up after she got whooped. She said, why did you run? He said, I said, run. You didn't follow the instructions. She said, but why did you leave me? He said, well, shit, you was getting your ass whooped, so one of us had to get the car anyway. I said, damn, Kevin. Right? So back to the point. You never get rid of the fear. That's the point. So this is why we say you don't become fearless, you get more courageous. This is the science behind you'll never get rid of the fear. You get more courageous because the fear signal's still there. You just got to make the courage signal stronger.
And you keep strengthening that little by little by little.
There you go.
Is what you're saying.
In increments.
In increments. That's beautiful. I mean, and here's what I just wish he would have specified what his fear was.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's trying to overcome is not working.
CJ Phelps, 88. Give us a shout on something that you're comfortable sharing that you want to conquer, right? So now check it out. Now there's layers. Yeah. Sometimes you're not aware of where the fear lies. So you got to also, you ask about tools, how you do that. So incrementalization of exposure. That's one way.
Okay.
To build courage in the face of fear, right?
Okay.
That builds that circuit stronger.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Next is to change your narrative. We talked about inner dialogue. You got to change, when we say change your narrative, that's your perception. Okay, so there's an area of the brain called the amygdala.
Yes.
And that it looks like an almond, but it's not perfectly shaped like an almond, thus it got the name amygdala, right? Almond, right? Now, yes. Right?
Yes.
But, and they say it reacts to fear. And it's the fear center that control. It's not just fear. It also reacts to pleasure. And it literally has a physiological change. So we have PTSD and stuff like that. It grows and changes. Fear is not imaginary. Now, if you have a chemical issue in your brain, that's a whole nother topic. You got to get chemical help.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about people that have normal fears, right? Anxieties, right? Okay. Now, the amygdala takes input from the outside world, and then it takes that input from sight, sound, smell. So if you hear that chihuahua bark, I heard that noise. You didn't even see a motherfucker. It's a recording.
Yeah.
The amygdala goes, I'm supposed to be scared of that. It's time to run. So it takes the input from the outside world and then gives an output to your systems in your body. We talked about the vagal nerve and vagal reaction.
Right.
The vagus nerve. And it's called two different things here. Okay. So that is how it syncopates the mind, elevates your heart rate. Your feet get to chopping, looking like Peyton Manning when he's ready to throw a pass.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's time to run, homie. So it took that output. The amygdala says, hey, let's communicate to the systems of the heart, the cardiorespiratory system. Let's talk to the vascular system, and let's run. Now, the other thing it does is it takes information from the frontal neonatal cortex.
Okay.
So how I perceive that. Man, I thought I heard a dog. I thought I smelled a dog. You just visualized the animal. It ain't even in the room. You didn't hear anything on the external world. You visualized it, and you ever had a thought and get chill bumps?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Fine ass woman, right?
Oh.
Woo! Girl, you remember that girl? Woo!
My downfall.
You feel me?
My downfall. That's why I'm in Indianapolis right now.
You follow what I'm saying, cuz?
Downfall.
So you could just have the thought internally. The amygdala takes that, and then it gives output to your system. Nothing even external even happens. So the other place that you need to control the mind. Now you can control the mind like we talked about peak performance under pressure with your inner dialogue.
And what should inner dialogue be?
You can change it to we talked about that in the last episode. It needs to be positive, present, and personal. But now we're gonna go to another area. You need to change, along with your inner dialogue, they're kind of one and the same, but two different veins. You need to change your rule set. When I see a dog, I run. Well, why? Because the dog's gonna kill me. Next, you change your rule set of your inner dialogue. When I see the dog, I'll stay for one count. When I see you change your rule set.
Oh, I love that.
When I'll look at the dog on the glass, but I'll look at it for 3 breaths. It don't matter. I'll look at it for 1 minute, then I'll run. You change your rule set. Now, but a lot of times you're not even aware of the rules that you have in your head. So you got to be aware of the rule set to change the rule set.
And it's all about being aware. I was going to bring that up too. It's all about being aware. I mean, and it sounds like it's coming from nowhere, but I just read a book about being aware. And when I was reading, I was like, well, I wasn't really into it, but then it clicked. Because if you're aware, and like you just said that, I go, you got to be aware. And it sounds like nothing, but if you really think about it, being aware is everything. Being aware of, okay, why am I thinking this? Okay, you're aware you're thinking that way. And it sounds like that, but it's true. Because I do that all the time also. That's why this is finally clicking with me.
So here's the thing. A lot of times, and you can ask that and you still can't get to the root of it. So I had a friend that just hit me up. He said, bro, I'm going into work. I got this new job. Every time I go to work, I have anxiety. It's getting hard. I'm staying in the house, right? I'm getting late to work. I don't want to. I said, bro, yeah, you're having authentic anxiety. But he couldn't figure out why. So here's the question I asked him. Here's a real good question to find out your rules. What's the worst thing that can happen to you in that scenario? In your brain, because it's got a worst case scenario. And it might not let you know. It's in the back of your mind. It's in the amygdala, in the subconscious, where the conscious mind is not. Well, that dog's gonna rip me to shreds. It's gonna bite my whole head off. Bro, his mouth can't even do that, cuz. Right? And he
It's like an anaconda.
Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah.
So sometimes just the aware. So you ask yourself the questions. We talked about the questions shift your focus. Well, sometimes the questions reveal the subconscious.
Yes.
And if you think about it, what does a psychiatrist do? They just ask you damn questions. They don't say shit. Well, what happened right there? Then they just sit there and get paid. Well, nigga, you do that for yourself. You feel me? So you look at yourself and you say, what's the worst possibility that could happen? And your brain reveals the fear. Because it's trying to protect you. What's it trying to protect you from? The worst case scenario. Yes. Now, what do you do when you see that? Sometimes it's the awareness. You're not even aware that you're afraid of this subject. And then sometimes it goes, oh, that's stupid. And it just shifts gears. But sometimes you're not. It's a legitimate fear. There's gangsters down there going, what's the worst case scenario? Well, I could get shot. I could get stabbed, right?
Yeah.
And those are legitimate fears. Now, what do you do then? Now you have to create contingencies, plans. So you plan for the worst and hope for the best. You don't get rid of optimism, but you start to develop a plan. And so that's called self-efficacy.
Oh, you in the big words.
I keep doing it, dog.
I don't, man. So I never use the word efficacy. Hey, Soundman, you ever use efficacy in a sentence or anything? See, exactly. I like that. You don't know either.
That's when you cussing at like 5 people.
Oh.
F all of y'all. You being efficient with the efficacy. That is the act of being efficient with the F word. Nah, but in real life. So check it out. Cuz. So self-efficacy is your brain's self-perception, because that's what separates us from the primates. Right. We can really observe ourselves at your ability to handle a problem.
Okay.
Well, if the problem is 10 feet tall, you got to break it down to 10 1-foot segments. Or 120 inch, because I can handle this little bitty single inch. I can't handle a foot. Okay, then break. So we go back to incrementalization, but on a further breakdown. So now I look at that, and that's what incrementalization is you're taking that big goal and breaking it down to the level that you believe you can handle it.
Yes.
I can't handle 10, I can handle 5.
Yes.
Then do 5. I can't handle 10, I can do 2, then handle 2. If I can't handle 10, I can do 1. And your brain, so here's what happens. When your brain feels like it cannot handle it, it disengages. It goes, get out of here. We can't handle it. Run. When you break it down, because it's trying to save you, it's trying to move away from being conquered, from being hurt, from being injured, from being broke. So we'll say, I got $5, that thing's 10. Well, nigga, that's what a layaway plan is for. That's why we in the hood. Nigga, I got 5, bro. Layaway. Bro, put 2 on it.
But it's incrementalization though.
You got to create a mental layaway plan, homie.
But that's what it is, right? I mean, honestly, it was funny what you said, but it's the truth though. That's what layaway is. You're gonna get that, but in increments. It might take you 4 years to get that car, but still, little payment, bam, now it's mine.
So you got to create a mental layaway program.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Mental credit.
Mental credit.
You follow me?
Yes.
I only got this. This is my goal. I only got $2. I'm going to keep coming back and putting 2 on it until I get it.
And that's how you break fear. You incrementalize fear. Little steps like you just talked about, and it strengthens that. Am I getting this right?
There you go.
Because you were losing me in the beginning. Like, man, you are way over my head.
Where you going with all that?
Yeah,
I'm explaining what's actually happening, because everybody, and the reason why they don't explain all that is because people get bored and they get lost. But it's also important to know what's actually happening, not just the figure of speech. There's 2 damn wolves. Like, where are these wolves at, bro? Bro, you schizophrenic. I ain't listening to you.
But now, but God damn, but it's beautiful because I get it now. You incrementalize it and little steps.
So the fear, major points for today. The fear never goes away. You got to create a stronger courage circuit.
Oh.
So that's why I said on the last time we talked on the BT Killer B Killer Convos, I said you got to find something that you value more than your fears.
Yes.
More than your comforts. And more than your own self-preservation. preservation. Because when you value that, what that does, and that's a whole nother time for another channel, how that actually happens in your system. When you value that, the hippocampus, the memory part of the brain, has an affinity to the stress hormones, to the impactful hormones. So when there's a strong sense of emotion, the hippocampus goes, we got to remember that. And then when it says we have to remember that, it talks to the amygdala and goes, download this, because when this happens, we're going to have this response. So you're going to make that strong sense of power and tie it to courage. The fear is still there, bro, but you fed the powerful wolf.
God damn. That's fucking beautiful.
You follow me?
I do. I mean, I really do. Like in the beginning, I was like, man, this dude's over my head. This dude right here is a graduate school, and I am junior college freshman year. And now we met on this level.
Bro, you don't get rid of... So I forget the movie, man. It was like way back in the Aztec era. And this dude looked at his son. My homie just posted it. And he looked at his son. He said, don't be afraid. Fear is a disease. Disease spreads. It takes another host, and then it grows, and it takes over your body. It metastasizes. It takes over the organ. Okay, but courage does the same damn thing, bro. You feel me?
Fuck.
I can be courageous, and that inspires you, and then it metastasizes, and you build your heart, and you build your courage. The fear never goes away. The courage becomes stronger. And now, when you run from fear, you strengthen the power of the fear response. Every time you flee. And it's something that you could go towards that would propel you, that would progress you, that would protect. Bro, go towards that. And now the fear, it's not necessarily that the object got smaller. The fear response is, and it's the same. The courage got greater.
God.
You follow me, bro?
Yes, I do.
So now when you break down that big thing into smaller chunks, guess what happens? Your brain goes, hey, bro, now we talked about if the thing is too big and strong and too powerful, it's too overwhelming, it disengages because we're going to lose. It's smart, bro. The brain's doing its job. So now what you tell the brain is, bro, we're not going to buy that Lamborghini. We're going to put $1 on it a day. We ain't never going to get that bitch. But you feel me? No, but in real life. So I got you ain't gonna get that bitch. Bro, so we say, hey, bro, you feel me? I want this watch. This is a $300 watch. I'm gonna put $1 on it, bro, today.
$250 next week. $3.75 the next week. Next thing you know, like, oh shit, I almost got, I don't know how much money it is, but I almost got.
Hey, bro,
yeah.
If you put $1 on it a day, and it's a $300 watch, you'll have it by the end of the year. So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
And that's what Phil Jackson said. We talk about sports. He said, just improve 1% a day.
Yes.
Just what's he saying? He's saying what I'm saying. So you don't try to tackle the whole thing because the brain goes, that's too much. That animal's going to eat me. The fear response takes over. Now you made the fear circuit stronger, so you flee. Because it goes, bro, we can't win that one. Get out of here. Now, if you break it down, bro, you break it down from a bobcat to 3 house cats, man, I could whoop a house cat's ass. I can't whoop no bobcat. But if I break that bobcat down to 3 house cats, man, I'm going to whoop that motherfucker's ass one at a time. Now, guess what? When the brain thinks it can do it, it takes all of its resources and then puts them online. We call that resourcefulness. So you got the resources in you, but it can't activate them because it goes, bro, all of our resources put together cannot win this one. Disengage. That's called a tactical retreat. That's smart. But if you break it down, and that's where the saying comes from, you hear these sayings. We didn't win the battle, but we win the war.
Yes.
So I'm going to take this war and break it down into battles. I might have lost here. So today I was scared and I didn't do it. Then get up and put $1 on it tomorrow. So I lost that battle. It don't matter. Get up, put $1 on it.
So it'd be like if I was like swimming or whatever, like, you know, say I'm afraid to whatever. So when I first started swimming, I couldn't even make it to the middle of the pool.
Nope.
Seriously, I couldn't make it to the middle. I felt like I'm a grown ass man. I can't make, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna get this. And so then I made it down all the way one time. Like, oh shit, I did it. And then like the next week or whatever, I made it down and back. Like, oh shit. And then so I built that up to now. I'm like, bow, 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 bow.
There you go. So rather than try to swim for an hour, you just like, I'm just trying to make it to the middle of the pool.
Baby, go down. Okay, I'm good. I'm out. Yeah. Boom, then boom, boom. I'm out. Really?
Yep.
And then
you break it down into what your brain is willing. Now, why does the brain say I'm willing? Because it goes, that's the level that the brain, through self-efficacy, says, I believe that we have the resources to be able to handle that. You break it down to that level and it will approach it. It will take all of its resources and say, let's go, homie. Right? So if say it's 50 dudes over there and we got 10 dudes, it's like, bro, we should get out of here. But now we attack them one by one. There's 10 of us. Bro, let's go. We got this. The whole crew gonna say, come on, homie number one gonna say, ha. Sight gonna say, yeah. Smell gonna say, yeah. Taste gonna say, yeah. Follow me? Emotion gonna say, yeah. Now guess what? You gonna attack that thing with fervor, with tenacity. Now guess what happens? You have a belief in your self-efficacy. So when you have that fear, the way that you grow the fear circuit stronger is incrementalization. Now we're breaking down why that happens. So now that's called resourcefulness. When all of your resources come together to tackle something, and you just do that each day. Now, you increase that to the level. So okay. So I had a dude yesterday, he was in class. He said, I was never going to do Muay Thai. I said, man, what made you do it? He said, man, I've been rolling doing jujitsu, and it's built my confidence, honestly. Because what he learned, man, I'm not going to die in a fight. He learned I can approach the fight, win or lose, but I was in. I said, well, how'd you get in jiu-jitsu? He said, well, I started boxing originally, and I'd look over there, and every time I just see it, and I was curious. So one day so first he looked. Then he inquired. Those are the little steps.
That's it.
Then he came to class.
Baby steps.
Then now we don't start him off in jiu-jitsu to choke it. Yeah. Hey, bro, let's just fight for these little positions. Okay. Yeah. Then next we'll just add points. Then we'll just add, you see?
Yes.
And now, hey, bro, now he built, I said, bro, you grew your heart. Marcelo used to say that.
Yeah.
Bro, you are growing your heart. What does that mean? I'm telling you the science of what that means. I'm building the circuit stronger than the fear. The fear never goes away.
God damn.
That's courage.
Yes, but that's how you do it. And you break everything down like that. And that's beautiful.
So, big prong process. Fear never goes away. It's which wolf you feed, which neural circuit and association. If you don't have a courage circuit, you got to make it. Just got to think about it. You got to approach it at the smallest level that your brain says, I can handle that. That's self-efficacy. Yeah. So the brain goes, we can handle that. And now it goes, let's go. That's an increment we can handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting the watch today, the $300 watch today. You putting $1 on it. It's the mental layaway plan. A year from now, I'm going to have that, bro. And every time you put that $1 down, you see, this chipping away. And then one day you own that, bro. You follow me? Yeah. And now that watch, what happens with that watch? People go, that's a nice watch. And they, man, that looks nice. Let me do business with you, bro. You must be doing something right. And now you gain more currency. Now check it out. Okay, so we got rid of fear now, but how do we find that fear? We talked about this major process. Okay. You ask yourself, what's the worst thing? Because it can be disguised. You don't know why you're afraid. You want to know, but you don't know.
Right.
The subconscious is doing it before you think because the amygdala reacts under pressure. It's called the high road and the low road. It shuts down the frontal cerebral cortex. And you get under pressure, it shuts that thinking part down. You go, shit, I'm scared, let's go, boom. Then you get out there, you're like, why'd I do that? Why'd I start fucking stuttering and shit when I talked to that fun-ass chick? Yeah. You don't get a chance to process. The amygdala goes, shut all that shit down. You too slow. You be thinking too hard. You need to shut the fuck up. We out of here. You don't get to think about that. So sometimes you have to have that conversation before you do it. I'm about to go see this dog. And I'm going to just look at it, and you give yourself metrics you can handle. I can look at that for 10 seconds. And now I got to go. And your brain's like, cool, I can do that. We get to leave, we get to leave. And then, yep, but I know I'm going to feel anxiety. I know I'm going to feel the fear. But I'm going to just build a little bit of courage and I'm going to leave. Follow that? Now, how do you find that fear since it's hidden? Because you say, what is the worst thing that could happen to me? And then you listen. And your mind, and you just keep asking that question. And it'll start to answer you. And then when you discover that, sometimes you go, man, that's dumb. And the brain goes, bro, I can't handle that. And then it goes, I got the self-efficacy. My resources can handle that. Fuck, that was dumb. Other times it's like, no, that's a real fear. Like that dream, if you get caught naked, you in the middle of a motherfucking field, damn, I'm ass naked in front of you. Keep having that dream. Then one day you wake up and it's really happening. Oh, shit. And then there's some motherfuckers that want to do that. They streaking over there in Britain, nigga. You feel me? Let's check it out. So what you do is when it brings up a substantial fear,
yes,
it might be justifiable. Hey, I don't need to mess with that. But if there's something that you need to progress towards, if there's something that you need to, or someone that you need to protect, guess what you do? You develop contingency plans. You plan for the worst and hope for the best. And that contingency plan, and you say, okay, well, it revealed what's the worst thing that could happen. Oh, man, I could be embarrassed in front of everybody. And what will I do in that embarrassment? How will I recover? What will I say? You start to make plans. And then you make those plans at the smallest level that your brain believes you could tackle it. You incrementalize it and develop your self-efficacy. So this is just one vein of a broad stroke process to start to tackle your fear, to not feed the fearful wolf, to feed the courageous wolf. And now the parable. Why do we talk in parables? Because nobody wants to hear the damn neuroscience, bruh. Yeah. And back then, they didn't know it. They understood the concept.
Yes.
They don't know the neurology and neuron, right?
Right.
So there's two reasons. Because they didn't have the technology to actually see what's actually transpiring in the brain. And number two, don't nobody want to hear that shit. You feel me? I'm telling you, like, nigga, what the fuck you talking about? Get to the point. And the point is, English, English, do you speak it? You feel me? So that, but I'm breaking that down because I'm letting you know. Sometimes in parables, you're like, yeah, you don't know why. When I break it down, you say, this is reality. This is tangible. I can get a hold of this, and this is a tool I can use. The brain is a tool for you to use, not for you to be used by, homie. You feel me?
That is a perfect place right there to if we incrementalize or compartmentalize this episode. Well, you just said the brain is a tool for you to use and not to be used by. God, that right there breaks that whole thing down. We say the brain is a tool to be used, not to be used by.
Yes,
that right there is beautiful. Right there. It's because the brain it's for us. It wants the best for us.
Yep.
God damn, man, that's beautiful. I mean that. There's nothing better than when the light goes on, and the light just went on. Like the light went on when you talked about that, and I was like, okay, where's it going? I was like, what does that have to do with the fear? And then
just make the courage stronger, baby. Fuck. Break it down into levels that your self-efficacy believes you could do it. Then your resourcefulness will kick in with the resources that you have, and then make a mental layaway plan. You gonna get it? Just $1 a day, baby.
Oh God, that's beautiful. That's a perfect way to. CJ Phelps. I hope that helps you. I mean, CJ Phelps, 88. God, I hope that helped. It helped me. Shit. I mean, it really did. I mean, because I was looking over last night by fear. You know, that's why I had the fight or flight. There's also a freeze where you go, oh shit, you're frozen by the fear. Yeah. And then it was fawn, which I think I used to do also is that, like, you know, when you get scared, maybe you over like, oh, hey man, good to see you. Yeah, you look good, you look great. Yeah, I was gonna whoop your ass, but thanks, man. I just got these Nikes, so I appreciate it.
We still,
You know what I mean? So this makes so much. I mean, honestly, for me, this makes so much sense and opens up a whole new avenue because now I know, like, little by, and I was probably doing this with other things where little by little, like I said, with the swimming, little by little, but now everything is gonna be broken down. Like everything I fear now, little by little, every day. Like I said, 1% better every day, just a little bit. Just a little. It's almost how I used to break in new jokes. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Somebody got to go on stage and say, blah, 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 blah. I may get, that's all I need to say. And then next time I go on stage, it goes a little longer. And then finally, after about 30, maybe about 3 or 4 months, the bit is there.
Bro, and you know what? That's a really good point. Because comedians do that. They don't just go out and do the thing on the big stage.
Yeah.
You go to sets, little sets.
Little sets, bro.
It's exactly done just like that.
Exactly.
Then you go to another little set and you build it.
Build it.
And then you got the courage to do it in front of the crowd and you rock it. You kill it. Perfect. I seen you kill it.
Yeah, when I used to live in LA, that was a great thing to watch a comedian get ready for the specials. Yeah, I mean, that was the best thing about LA. Like you see the big names go up. Yeah. And perfect example was Damon Wayans. Damon Wayans, I watched him like when I had a good manager. I go to Laugh Factory, I go to the Improv, I go to the Comedy Store. Damon Wayans was getting his special together. So one time he would just get on stage and he was just talking. Just on the stool, just talking. Okay, then he go to Improv, just talking. Yeah. Then you see him next week. It's funny, just talking. Funny. The next week, man, funnier. A little more talk, funnier. And then about, next week after that, oh man, this is funny. And then when that special came, that shit was tighter than Presley's pants, bro. And the jokes were bump, 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 bump. You go, that's what it is. He incrementalized the joke. He just had to get it. You have to get it out. You get it out of your system. You go, and then hopefully you're recording it or have, sometimes they have other people watch it and they go, hey man, that was good. When you said this, try tagging it with this. Okay. The next time he goes up, just talk. Don't worry about you being funny. You already know you're funny. So then, okay, boom, boom, boom. Almost like a boxer in sparring, or anything you do. Yeah. Incrementalize. God damn, that's beautiful, man.
And you know what, BT? One other thing, bro.
Yeah.
For the listeners that's listening to the BT Killer B Killer Convos. Hey man, send if you have questions about any other topic. Holler at us in the comments.
And I mean this from the bottom. Please do, because this one we did, and Kenny brought it up. It's all Kenny idea, which I was totally for. Sometimes I get blind. Sometimes I'm over here, and what's right in front of you, you don't see. You know what I mean? So, and there was a God thing. I was going to Kenny every day. I mean, to work out. And all of a sudden, like, why not have it on your show?
Nah,
this is a great. No, it's like, he's got a great story. Why don't you have it on? And then it's opened up everything. So when you said that, it made sense. And to show you guys that like I said, I don't care if it's self-serving or not. We put on, and I'll say it right now, it's entertaining, but it's also
edutainment.
It's
Education and entertainment.
It's educational, and we're fun to look at. And if you're a lady, I know we're nice to look at. So you know what I mean? I know we're nice to look at if you're ladies, and then we're also going to educate you, but to the point, and we break it down here. So I mean, on this level that everybody can grasp. We're not talking up here. When you start talking up here, but eventually you bring it down to here, and I go, bingo. Like when that light went off when you were talking, I go, yes, it made sense.
Yes,
so, God damn it. So we're at, to all the people watching, if you have a question, hit us up. We will answer it and do a segment on it with it's the new one. It's under Tales from Indianapolis. It's going to be BT and Killer B Killer combos, and all because of my man, Kenny Bigbee.
I'm not, bro. You the host with the most. I love it.
Hey, honest, it's us together, and whatever you guys have, man, we'll go over it with you guys. Any questions or whatever, because, man, we're here for you. So, man, again, thank you, Kenny.
Appreciate you.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart, bro.
It's always a killer convo with you, bro.
You the man. You the man.
On and off the mic, though.
Yeah, I mean that, dude. You the man. So, guys, hit us up with Kenny or with me on Tales from a Gemini in the comments. You have a question, hey, man, we'll put it on. We'll do it for you. So thank you so much.
You want to have a killer convo? Holla at us.
CJ Phelps 88. Hope you're happy. Hope it's going to help you overcome your fear. He's helped me overcome my fear. I might just ask a girl out this weekend. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Yeah, all she can say is no. All she can say is no.
You feel me?
I might.
And then what's your contingency? Holla at another one.
Or write a secret admirer. People do that shit anymore. Right. Hit us up with anything you have, man. We'll answer your question. And I hope this helping anybody else. Like with me, you have a fear and you know how to conquer it. And like CJ said, hey, man, I tried everything. It's not working. God, I hope this helps you out. So thank you so much, Kenny.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Much respect.
And thank you guys for watching. We'll get back with you. Until then, you know the word. Peace.